when they ask you the reason for a war, the answers you will generally hear are obvious: security, nuclear threat, democracy. But these are just the tip of the iceberg. If you want to learn the real reason for a war, stop following the weapons, follow the money. Behind America striking Iran lies a fear much bigger than nuclear missiles, the fear of an economic earthquake that could end the reign of the dollar. So how can a war be fought just to protect the value of the money in your pocket? This story is not actually an oil war. This is a war fought for money itself. The modern world is built on one single thing: energy. Let us be more specific: oil. From the car you drive to the food you eat getting from the field to your table, everything depends on oil. Factories run on oil, armies move on oil, the economy revolves around oil. In short, oil is the blood of the modern world, and whoever controls this blood also controls the circulation system of the planet. That is why at the center of every military movement in the Middle East is that black liquid. But the real power of oil is not hidden in the engines it burns, but in the currency you use to buy it. And here we come to the place where it all began. Have you ever wondered, why does even Japan have to pay with US dollars when buying oil from China? The answer is hidden in a secret agreement made in the 1970s. In those years, America made an agreement with Saudi Arabia, the world's largest oil producer. The agreement was simple: we will protect you militarily, and you will sell your oil only and exclusively in US dollars. This agreement gave birth to the Petrodollar system. Now, every country in the world that wanted to buy oil had to buy US dollars first. This gave America incredible power, a currency that is constantly in demand and whose value never drops. It is like an infinite limit credit card that the whole world has to use. America could print unbacked money and buy real goods and services from all over the world with it. This is the secret of the dollar being the global reserve currency: oil. This system is the main pillar of American economic power, and when someone tries to destroy that pillar, that is when the bells of war start ringing. Iran has been crushed under heavy American sanctions for years. These sanctions have made it almost impossible for Iran to use the dollar system. So what did they do? They found an alternative way. They said, if I cannot sell oil with dollars, I will sell it with another currency. Iran started selling its oil to its buyers, mainly China, with other currencies, such as the Chinese yuan. This might seem an innocent trade agreement, but it is not. This is a dagger thrust into the heart of the petrodollar system. Because if even one country can buy and sell oil without dollars, it inspires other countries too. And if enough countries abandon this system, the US dollar could suddenly turn into a worthless piece of paper. This is the scenario America fears even more than a nuclear bomb. And behind Iran that raised this flag of rebellion, there is a giant power: China. China is the world's largest factory, and this factory needs a massive amount of energy to operate. Iran is a cheap and reliable oil source for China, and China is an economic lifeline for Iran that allows it to bypass the sanctions. This relationship is a win-win situation for both sides. Iran sells its oil, and China reduces its production costs thanks to this oil it buys at a discount. So why does this situation bother America so much? Because it triggers a chain reaction. Think of it like this: cheap Iranian oil means lower energy costs for Chinese factories. Low cost means products manufactured more cheaply, and cheaper products means China gaining an overwhelming competitive advantage against America and its other rivals in the global market. In other words, every barrel of oil Iran sells to China is indirectly like a fire opened against the American economy. This is not just an energy trade, it is also a part of the global economic leadership struggle. And there is a geographical point where this struggle is locked. About 1/5 of the oil tankers in the world's seas have to pass through a very narrow strait every day, the Strait of Hormuz, and one side of this strait belongs to Iran. Iran, with the threat of closing this strait, holds not only the oil flow, but also the switch of the global economy in its hands. This gives Iran the power of a gatekeeper in the global energy supply chain, beyond being just an oil producer. For America, this is an unacceptable risk. There is both a resource feeding its biggest rival, China, and this resource has a geographical power that can hold the global economy hostage. Behind all this, a much larger project is slowly taking shape. Petroyuan, that is, China's dream of establishing an oil trading system with its own currency, the yuan. If China convinces enough countries to buy and sell oil with the yuan, this could be the beginning of the end of the petrodollar system. Iran is the most important test site for this project. If the Iran-China model is successful, other countries might also line up. That is why an attack on Iran is actually a challenge to the Petro-Yuan project and the future of the dollar. The war is actually between the dollar and rising alternative currencies. The sanctions and military pressure America applies to Iran are not just a military strategy. This is a financial defense line. The goal? To cut off China's cheap energy source by stopping Iran's oil trade. To intimidate other countries by punishing non-dollar trade attempts right from the start. And most importantly, to protect the petrodollar system at all costs. Because America knows that even the foundation of its military power rests on its economic power, that is, the reign of the dollar. Does this strategy sound familiar to you? It should. Look at the policies America applies to Venezuela, another oil-rich country. Heavy sanctions, economic isolation, and efforts to push it out of the system. The model is the same. Targeting energy-rich countries that challenge the dollar system and cooperate with America's rivals. Iran and Venezuela are the victims of the same strategy in different geographies. The goal is to prevent energy resources from falling into the hands of rival powers. The consequences of this war will not be felt in Tehran or Washington. Oil prices will skyrocket. This will be reflected as a price increase on everything from the gas station to the grocery store shelf. Global supply chains will break, and inflation wave will surround the whole world. This war could bring the already fragile global economy to the brink of a recession, because every bomb dropped in the modern world is actually like a stone thrown at the global economic system, and its waves will eventually wash up on all our shores. In conclusion, in the picture shown to you, there are missiles, generals, and security briefings, but a completely different truth lies behind the picture. Dollar bills, stock market charts, and oil tankers. History has taught us this. Wars are often fought for the economy, but explained to the public on the grounds of security. This is much more than one country attacking another. This is the war between an effort to keep a collapsing economic order alive and a new rising order.
This is not just a war. This could be the rewriting of global economic rules with blood and oil.